Hello YouTube, this is VMonkey Effects, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you a little bit about this effect that I posted not too long ago. Actually, I think I did it last night. Anyway, it's a plane crash effect that I made in After Effects, and I'm just going to give you a quick preview of this, and we'll see what we got. This is actually part of the trailer for Echoes Episode 2, so just going to give you a quick sneak preview when we're done here. Alright, so let's just look at what we got here first. I'm going to go into this and lots of layers here. I'll solo this layer. Wait, no. I'll solo this layer. This bird's eye view of New York City. And to show you what I have for the color correction scheme, because obviously you couldn't get a shot like this, here's what I've got. Okay, so the shot was originally like this, and this doesn't look like an apocalyptic nightmare at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to use CC Toner, and I had a very bright red-orange for midtones, and for shadows I did black. Then blend with original, set it to about 50, and there you've got a basic red tone. For curves, what I did basically here is to just intensify the reds and take away some of the blue, take away some of the green, and darken the shot. So here we got sort of a musty looking shot. Looks okay. I mean, I personally think this shot could be a little bit better though, so just one last thing to just finish it, I used glow, and that made it look like there was some sort of huge amount of energy in the sky. And turn the default threshold radius, bring it up, because the default radius, which is like here, it just doesn't look right. So Control Z, undo, and that's what I got for the background color correction. Okay, so let's go. Oh, wrong one. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, we'll just go through here a little bit and we'll see what else we got. In fact, I'm going to go back into this comp. And if we go around here for a little while, we can see camera view changes, and oh, I forgot to turn these other layers on. Alright, so we have an opacity fade in. And then if we go over here, there should be, yeah, this plane image that I downloaded online. I'll just go into the plane. If I disable motion blur, so here's what we got for a plane. Like I said, I downloaded this image online and basically just did some masking, and then if we go into the effect controls for the plane, you see I color corrected it to fit the background. It just looks a little bit more like it fits the scene. So that's basically it. And then make sure you mask around the plane and enable motion blur and have it going from off the screen in Z space up to where you want it to hit. So in my case, I want it to hit the building. So if we scroll forward, it has an opacity fade out, as you can sort of see through the tail, or whatever you call it. Anyway, you can sort of see through it, and then it just sort of fades out of the shot. Okay, but that doesn't look energetic enough. So what I did was let's go in here. I'm gonna break down this explosion for you. This is where a lot of the work went in. To start off, just for a really basic looking explosion, I used optical flares, and we have the optical flare that sort of just fades out. You know, nothing spectacular. But that didn't look energetic enough. So if I turn on this layer, and I didn't use motion tracking for this because, you know, I couldn't. And I think I did a pretty good job of keeping it on the same spot on the building, and so it just eventually sort of fades out, and I set the transfer mode to add on this. Add. And then I used some Action Essentials footage, smoke charge, which gave us some of the smoke that you see coming up from the explosion. But even there's something that just doesn't look right, and that's probably because we didn't layer our elements very well. So I used Core Kit, which I think did a very good job of creating some debris and made some little sparks when the plane hit the building, like see right here. You can see these sort of sparks flying away from it. And then as we go forward, the sparks disappear and there's some smoke that's left behind. But if we go forward a little while, you know, not only is this shot not motion tracked after this point, which makes it look really weird, but there's no hole in the building. So what I did for that was I took another piece of Action Essentials footage, damage 1-5, and we'll turn this layer on. And I sort of had it fade in with opacity from here. Make sure the explosion is covering the hole when it fades in, otherwise it just looks like some hole is randomly appearing. And so here we got this sort of black burn mark, which if you duplicate it a few times, rotate it, offset the scale, toggle the opacity, you know, it actually does look pretty realistic. And then one last thing that I did was I added in some fire footage from Action Essentials, and then I masked it in a circular, well, an elliptical mask. Oh, yeah, an elliptical mask, which followed the basic outline of the hole, and then I parented it to the hole. And in here, because this isn't a very good shot for motion tracking, I basically made an educated guess on where this would go, and you know, sometimes that's the best you can do. And given that this wasn't a professional shot or anything, I figured, you know, we don't need to incorporate like mocha, which would be, to be honest, I'm not very experienced with mocha, and you know, when you're not experienced with something, doing it for the first time, you know, a lot of times you like to do practice projects. So yeah, well, that's pretty much what I did for this explosion, guys. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I added in some adjustment layers, as you can see. If I turn off, you see I have some orange glow here that I set to add with the adjustment layer. Use hue and saturation, nothing big. For the explosion, yeah, I use hue and saturation, and then for the fire adjustment layer, which is slightly smaller, I also use hue and saturation. So nothing too complicated for the adjustment layers, but once you put it all together, it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I guess that's about all I have to say on this effect. It took me about 2 hours to successfully complete this. So yeah, don't expect to get this thing done in 5 seconds. So that was about all that I was gonna say. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.